Hey, dude, I've yet to go on air, man. We have a whole bunch of tech issues, so we're about to go on air in about like a minute or so. Yeah, I'll call you as soon as I'm done. So let's make it for 9 a.m. All right, buddy. Yep, bye. Yo, Siege, you there? Siege?
Yeah, can you hear me, V?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Yep. All right, we are live. Take us there.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever the heck in the world you are, guys. Sorry this morning, man. We had a whole bunch of tech issues that just shot us out of nowhere. That's how it is when you're dealing with new cutting edge technology over here. Like we have that the master of the flux capacitor is toying with, but thankfully the master of the flux capacitor himself was able to get things under control and show the tech gremlins who is the boss. With that being said, guys, follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money. Check us out on Facebook, Rogue Money, and RogueMoney.net, the most preeminent, fastest growing, baddest as financial and geopolitical, geostrategic website on planet Earth. Also, with that being said, guys, check out our sponsors, myfreedomnow.us. If you are needing your credit, you want a better score in your credit, you want um, a new lease on life, have the reset button hit on your credit score, then check out myfreedomnow.us. No matter what you're facing, debt issues, student loans, bankruptcies, foreclosures, whatever the heck it is, the guys over at myfreedomnow.us can boost up your score, get you to where you need to be, and they do it quickly. So check them out, myfreedomnow.us, and book your call with them today. With that being said, CJ, what is going on?
I need more power to the flex capacitors, V. I need more power.
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. I'm giving it all she's got. I can't handle the power. Oh
Yeah,
man,
I
you gotta
apologize
love
to our.
technology. What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah, we had to bypass one of our systems. I said we
Yeah.
had to bypass one of our systems to go live directly to YouTube, but we're making it happen, V. So apologize to our audience about those two false starts. Didn't mean to tease you that way, but we're here. We're live. That's what matters.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. With the first, let's get into it then, buddy.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. So, V, what's going on with silver, man? What's happening in the markets there?
Well, we've had this great article put out by Simon Black. It talks about a mining CEO. He's stating that silver should be about $136 based upon what the production ratios are. And he's right. It should be $136. But let's delve into that just a little bit further. Okay. Now, honestly speaking, one of the statements that are said is this. And let's start off with the statement that was said by the CEO. Without silver, our entire society would go back to the Stone Age. Let that sink in for a second to everybody that's listening. Without silver, our society would go back into the Stone Age. That is huge. Okay. And we all know because we've had Bix on here, we've had, I've been on here, so many other guests have said this for years, that the limited silver is a very limited supply. It has a massive amount of industrial use. It is extremely artificially suppressed in terms of value. Um, so these are the things that many people are bullish on silver more so than gold. And the CEO was saying, "Hey, you know what? Here's the deal. You look at the ratios. Okay, the pricing ratio, supply ratios, it should be $136 per ounce." Now, see, back in the 1980s, we had the Hunt brothers who tried to corner the silver market by buying up as much silver as possible, driving up the price of silver to $50 an ounce. Okay, before the government stepped in and intervened. Now, that $50 an ounce, okay, you have to understand the world supply of silver right now is much, much less than it was back from when it was in the 80s when the Hunt brothers were doing their thing. If you adjust for inflation, if you adjust for manipulation, if you adjust, okay, for all these variabilities, especially supply, you would find out that silver, and my own calculations show this, CJ, silver should be anywhere between $450 to $500 an ounce right now. Right now, it should be at least between $450 to $500 an ounce right now, and it's gonna go higher. So basically, the support, the fundamentals are there for silver to boom.
Boom. Exactly. Exactly. It's just a matter of time, V. Just a matter of time.
That's it, man. Sit and hold, bro. Sit and hold. That's it. But anyway, bro, it seems like we have a lot of political theater continuing. Yesterday with Sally Yates.
Yeah. So yesterday on the Hill, Clapper and Yates went up
The
there to
clap.
testify, and the James the Clapper.
Yeah.
And it was just pretty much political theater. So you had the Democrats that sat there and tried to build this narrative around, Trump and Russian collusion. I mean, they've been on this V now, for well over 3 months, right? Trying to pinpoint exactly what happened. But more importantly, what really needs to be dealt with is more or less, how are these leaks, continuously happening, right? So, Yates gets up there and she's specifically talking around whenever she, felt so compelled to run to, Donald Trump's office and say, hey, listen, Pence is out there stating one thing, it's not accurate, because of the intel that we do have. She felt compelled to go back a second time. So this was literally over like a 14-day span by the time that she first brought the administration the offense regarding what had happened, specifically, with the who was it that Kelly, General Flynn, that they had to let go, right? So make a long story short, what happened was she specifically didn't state, okay, well, wait a minute, who requested the unmasking? Who, because that's where they have to dig in to try to specifically figure out. And it wasn't until Ted Cruz got up there and just started hammering her down specifically to ask, and they wouldn't go over any information. Obviously, they're like, oh, this is the appropriate area to review this. Clapper specifically said that there was no intelligence found to bring any type of charges, any type of accusations regarding the collusion with Trump and the Russians at all, V.
Absolutely, man. And they can't, they keep pushing this narrative, bro. And this narrative it's the most ridiculous thing ever. They just don't let it go. I mean, for the love of God, man. I was in a Jamaican restaurant ordering some Jamaican food. And I mean, why else would I be in a Jamaican restaurant, right? See, I can't go to a Jamaican restaurant and order like Polynesian food. That's weird. They walk in there. Can I have a chicken fried rice, please? Anyway, and then CNN, the certainly not news network, was playing in the background, and Wolf Blitzy was screaming on the top of his lungs that this is serious implications for the administration and the Russian connections that Flynn had. Dude, let it go. Let it go. And the 5 people in the United States that watch CNN, the rest are all either, semi-retarded, they're half-brained, they're either chemically lobotomized, or they're in a geriatric hospital, or they're in a nursing home, or they're in God's own waiting room, which is in Florida, okay, in a retirement community. Those are the only people that watch CNN. Nobody cares what Wolf Blitzy says, okay? Nobody cares about Wolf Blitzy or CNN. And they won't let this narrative go, CJ. And that's the funniest thing is this. No matter, it's tiresome at this point. They've had almost 10 months now, CJ. 10 months talking about this Russia. It doesn't stop. And the only real conclusive, tangible, absolutely verifiable evidence of any sort of Russian meddling points all the way back to Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. There's your Russian connections there, but that, of course, is not mentioned by the bought and paid for lamestream media.
No, you nailed it, V. And in particular, when you think about the leaked information, and Trump tweeted out yesterday, well, maybe they need to discuss specifically and ask Yates, was she the one that revealed the information? Did she leak that information to the press? Right. I mean, we all know, as much as she wants to get up there and, pretend like, that she's Miss, goody two shoes, that she's there for the Constitution. When she was specifically asked by Ted Cruz, why did she tell the DOJ not to defend Trump's executive order on the travel ban? She specifically stated, V, that she felt that it was unlawful and unconstitutional. Now, that, mind you, this is after several courts reviewed Trump's executive order and deemed it that it was constitutional, that it was. So who gives her the right to play judge and jury on executive orders? She had a political agenda, and that's what it was now too. So hopefully next step, like Ted Cruz states, is that they need to get Rice up there, go ahead and subpoena her to find out who did the unmasking, who released this information, I believe, to the Washington Post, regarding this happening. And you're exactly right, V. Why aren't we hearing about, Hillary and the Clinton Foundation? Why aren't we hearing about the uranium that was sold during that time? This is just a complete smokescreen of trying to cover from the truth of the criminality of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton.
Yeah, that's the whole entire thing, man. Everybody at this point anybody with a brain, anybody with two brain cells to rub together, CJ, would know right quick that what is occurring right now is an absolute cover up by the Democrats, by the Republicans, the neocons, the rhinos, the establishment, insert name, deep state here. Okay. And what is happening is that the criminality of these politicians is being laid to bear. The question is this. I said this, CJ. I said that the American public is ready for justice. The American public wants retribution, not because we're vengeful, not because we want blood in the streets, but because we want to know. We want to know that the damn laws that work in this country work for us and as well as for those that are at the top. That is what we want to know, CJ. And this whole thing with Rice, and I'm glad that Trey Gowdy, and God bless him, he's the man that goes after all these idiots. Thank God Trey Gowdy's on the case, and he's going to have that POS, aka Susan Rice, to come to the Judiciary Committee and testify under oath. Under oath. And it's amazing to me watching this whole entire thing with Senator Yates yesterday. I'm just sitting there watching this crazy nut job who the liberals were literally circle jerking themselves into a tizzy on basically what this woman was saying, which is fabricated BS. I'm sitting there watching this woman perjure herself in a rigged kangaroo assembly, bro. Okay, a rigged kangaroo assembly. This is going to backfire on all these morons, man.
Yes, and what do we have on the other side, V? We have here the Trump statement, the State Department, and Trump needs to realize that he still has some elements of the deep state, hidden within the State Department. So Judicial Watch yesterday, V, put out a press release, and this stems back to Hillary Clinton's email dated back to the whole Benghazi of what happened in regards to Ambassador. Was it Anderson Collins, or that was killed there? So basically, what Judicial Watch put out was that Stevens,
yeah, the whole Benghazi thing, right?
So they put out there, V, and specifically that the emails that Hillary forwarded to unknown sources in her hidden server, that these emails were not labeled as classified. So this judge ordered and allowed Judicial Watch and told the U.S. State Department that, listen, these emails specifically were not listed in regards to President Barack Obama's conversation with the Egyptian and Libyan leaders. So that this judge stated, you are correct. This is under the Freedom of Information Act. And they requested the State Department to release these emails so that way Judicial Watch could get to the bottom of it in regards to what specifically happened. So here the State Department comes out and specifically asked this Judge Jackson, to reconsider this order, claiming that it was due to an internal order, that it was a mistake. And this is all covered under the Freedom of Information Act, B. So he still has some elements of the deep state that are there trying to protect Hillary and Obama.
Absolutely, man. So the swamp has not been completely drained. The drainage continues to go forward, and he's got issues. The administration has all sorts of roadblocks, all sorts of obstacles that are in its way. Everything from deep state operatives, everything from even family members like the idiot Kushner, who simply doesn't go away. So there's some issues that need to be handled. Otherwise, there's a lot of things that need to be done, man. A lot of things, but at least the guy's trying. I can't fault him for that. Let's see what happens with this. With this whole entire blocking of the Clinton thing. Maybe they're building a case. Let's see what's going on here, man.
Let's pray and hope, V.
Yeah, let's pray and hope. Now, like I said, CJ, what did you and I say, bro, at the beginning of this whole entire thing? If we don't see arrests by some major people in about a year's time, then it's all for naught.
Right. Exactly.
Which brings us to some diplomacy, my friend. The real challenge for the U.S. and ASEAN relations under Trump, man. What's going on over there?
Yeah, this is very interesting in terms of the moves that that Trump is going to have to make as he navigates through this, and specifically with primarily the how Obama disrupted the relationships through this. So, Trump has a true chance here to hopefully, kind of rehabilitate those relationships with Vietnam, with the Philippines. We all know that it's at this point that it has not been a good relationship. So,
No.
Trump, Tillerson, they have an opportunity here, hopefully, to re-engage there and get some things going. It's a true test on the administration.
Yep. Well, and the whole thing is this, okay? You want the U.S. to get along and have a great relationship with the ASEAN trade zones, okay? The ASEAN nations. You want them to get involved with the ASEAN nations, well, and have a right relationship. Those relationships have been skewed ever since Odumbo came into office and had his Asia pivot strategy, okay? The Asia pivot strategy, which led to the birth of the TPP, the toilet paper protocols that finally Trump put an end to. The ASEAN thing was strained. Why? It's simply strained because you cannot have good relationships with the ASEAN nations and then have a bad relationship with China. It just doesn't work that way. Okay? So getting the ASEAN relationship right requires getting the fundamentals of your Asian policy correct. Your Asia policy has to be right. And chief among those, CJ, is finding the balance between U.S. and China relations, because that's how the entire Southeast Asian states determine their approach to the United States, because they are all. I mean, China is the biggest trading partner of every single one of the members of the ASEAN nations. You get that thing wrong, that one fundamental thing wrong. I mean, how brazen is Obama? Hey, we're going to come to the ASEAN. We're going to cut you a better deal than what China's making. No, nobody trusts you. That's why they put Obama in the women's corner. They put her in the wives' table in the ASEAN meetings. They were humiliating him because they didn't like the guy, and this idiot wasn't getting the picture. Like literally, there was one time Obama flew out for the ASEAN meeting, and he was kicked out the next day. He was kicked out literally the next day. Nobody wanted to hear his shit. You know.
Is that when they made him exit off the back of the plane, V? When they wouldn't give him the real treatment?
That was in China. That was in China because nobody respects this guy because he's a troublemaker. I mean, look at him. Oh, old skinny boy is back in D.C. Skinny boy's going around, organizing protests and dissension. Basically helping in the asymmetric warfare against Trump. Skinny boy's out there giving speeches to Goldman Sachs for $400,000. Okay, this guy is a criminal. He is somebody who is a troublemaker. See, so how does China deal with a troublemaker? Well, they can't kill the bastard, unfortunately. So they embarrass him on a world stage. It's the same thing with the ASEAN countries. Oh, you want to cut deals with us? You want to exclude our biggest trading partner? Fine. We'll put you in the wives when we're standing up taking pictures. You'll be with the women's side of things. That's the whole entire thing.
Yep.
So if Trump wants to deal with the ASEAN, he has to deal with China. That's why he's changing his tune on China. You can't go out there and say, China is the biggest, most tremendous currency manipulator. You can't say that. We're the biggest currency manipulator on the planet. You can't say shit like, Iran is the number one sponsor of terrorism. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. I will defend Iran to the teeth. They're not perfect. But damn it, at least a woman could actually walk around in Iran without a hijab. At least a woman could go get a college degree, start her own business. She could drive a freaking car. Okay? Iran is great in that regard. They're still Persian. They're not Arab. They're still Persian. Two different people. Okay? Saudi Arabia is the biggest sponsor of terror on the planet. We all know this. Let's call a spade a spade. So these type of framing of arguments, these types of creating these preconceived, prefabricated, and at the end of the day, obsolete ideas and worldviews is what's killing us and preventing us and handicapping us to move politically forward. Because nobody, it seems, has the political balls, except for a handful of people, to call a spade a spade. You can't say that. Oh,
bingo.
Iran is the biggest sponsor of terror when you have Saudi Arabia there. Well, you can't say that about the Saudis because Saudis are in cahoots with your buddies in Israel. The whole Western, if you don't think Saudi Arabia is a Western proxy, you got another thing coming to you. The whole entire West and their worldview and their view of their proxies has to be done away with, CJ.
Absolutely, V. And we see where, one-time great partner with the U.S., Japan's getting it.
Yep.
Here we have Japan now, meeting with China, expanding their dialogue, for more trade and in specifics regarding, finance and banking.
Absolutely.
So here they're entering new agreements, expanding trade, expanding finance, and we're quickly seeing Japan. They're seeing the writing on the wall here, V.
Yeah, China. Japan's biggest trading partner is China. It's no longer the U.S. Think about it. Japanese trade in China was $340 billion in 2014. CJ, $340 billion. I estimate in 2017 you're going to be probably closer to $600 billion. It would double that. It'll be over $500 billion, probably closer to $600 billion. They don't want any trouble with China. They understand that the whole Senkaku Dayu Island dispute is something that can be, something that can be, finished with diplomacy. It can be handled with diplomacy. They don't want the U.S. trying to foment that. They don't want any of this beef. Same thing with Taiwan. Taiwan understands its place. They don't want the beef. Look, at the end of the day, is this. This is why we're in the economics business, CJ. Economics is the most powerful human driver in the world, and I've said this to to many people. Every human civilization's main driver is economics. You show me a civilization, I'll tell you how great that civilization is based on its economics. And that's what separates us, the United States, from the Tuk-Tuk tribe in deepest, darkest Congo, Africa, who communicate with clicks and tweets. And tweets not in this Twitter kind. But literally clicks and,
right.
and whatnot. But why? Because our economies are much more advanced. And some of these places where you see people and population that live in squalor in the midst of vast resources, CJ, in the midst of vast resources, shows what kind of civilization they are because of their economy. And what is religion, CJ? I've said it so many times. Religion is nothing but politics applied to economics. That's all it is. At the end of the day, everybody's looking for a bigger, better deal. And boom. The end of the show.
That's it.
With that being said, CJ, what's happening today? We have Dex coming on. Anything else?
Yeah, Dex will be on later on today. We recorded a great interview yesterday with Mr. X. So I'm doing. Yeah, I did a little editing to that, but just some great information. I was listening to the interview, V, and I was just in awe. I was like taking notes. I'm like, this is going to be some cool stuff coming out. So yeah, so be looking forward to that being posted probably exclusively at roguemoney.net later on today.
Absolutely. And with that being said, guys, we're over and out. Again, check out our sponsor, myfreedomnow.us. It'll help you with your credit. We are over and we're out. Take it away, CJ.